When we think about survival, emergency preparedness, food security, most of us imagine a pantry filled with canned goods or maybe a freezer stocked with meat. But here's the truth, most modern foods spoil quickly. Even some of the canned goods eventually go bad. But there's an overlooked group of foods, ancient, timeless, powerful that can last forever, or at least decades, without spoiling. These are the foods that never expire. And in this video, we're going to walk through the ultimate emergency pantry guide. You'll learn not only which foods last forever, but why they matter now more than ever in 2025 and beyond, how to store them properly, and how to combine them with your victory garden for maximum security. This isn't just about prepping or homesteading, it's about peace of mind. It's about knowing that no matter what happens in the world, whether it's food shortages, inflation, natural disasters, or global uncertainty, your household will be ready and shielded. Let's begin with one of the most legendary foods in human history, honey. Honey is perhaps the only food known to truly last forever. Archaeologists exploring Egyptian tombs discovered sealed jars of honey that were still edible after more than 3,000 years. Can you imagine that? Food that outlived entire civilizations, still safe to eat. Why does honey last so long? It comes down to science. Honey is low in water, highly acidic, and naturally antibacterial. Microorganisms simply cannot grow inside it. Even if bacteria land on honey, they die almost instantly because honey is too harsh an environment for them. Now, over time, your honey might crystallize. You'll open the jar and see that it looks gritty or cloudy. But don't worry. Crystallization is completely natural and doesn't mean it's spoiled. Just place the jar in warm water, stir gently, and it will return to its smooth, golden liquid form. And let's not forget, honey isn't just a sweetener, it's medicine. It can soothe sore throats, boost immunity, and even heal wounds when applied to the skin. Ancient civilizations used honey as a wound dressing, and even modern science confirms that honey kills bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus. In times of crisis, honey is more than food, it's survival medicine. Every household should keep multiple jars stored away, sealed tightly, in a cool, dark pantry. Now, let's talk about a humble but powerful survival food, white rice. White rice, when stored properly, can last 20 to 30 years, sometimes even longer. The key is keeping it free from oxygen, pests, and moisture. Preppers often use mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, then store the bags inside sturdy buckets. This method locks rice away from air and light, essentially freezing it in time. Unlike brown rice, which has oils that eventually turn rancid, white rice is almost immortal when sealed correctly. Rice is more than just filler, it's a calorie powerhouse. One single cup of uncooked rice expands to 3 cups when cooked, providing over 600 calories of energy. In a survival scenario, calories matter more than fancy flavors. Rice can keep you fueled for long hours of work, whether you're gardening, chopping wood, or simply trying to keep warm. And when paired with beans, rice creates a complete protein, meaning it provides all the amino acids your body needs. Imagine serving rice with dried beans, topped with herbs from your garden and maybe some fresh peppers. Suddenly, you have a hearty, balanced, and sustainable meal. Speaking of beans, let's move on to dried beans and lentils. Dried beans, stored in airtight containers, can last decades. They may take longer to soften as they age, but they'll always remain edible. Lentils, on the other hand, are even better for emergencies because they cook faster and require less fuel. This is a critical point most people overlook. In a survival situation, it's not just what you eat, but how much fuel it takes to cook it. A food that cooks quickly saves firewood, gas, or electricity, resources you may not have in abundance. Beans provide protein, fiber, and essential minerals like iron and magnesium. They keep you full for longer, stabilize your blood sugar, and support muscle repair. Think about history for a moment. In almost every civilization, beans were a survival food. Native Americans grew the 3 sisters, beans, corn, and squash because together they provided complete nutrition. Today, you can still use that wisdom. Stock beans in your pantry, plant corn in your garden, and you'll have a system that has worked for centuries. Now, let's turn to one of the most essential survival foods of all time, salt. Salt never expires, it's a mineral, not an organic food. It doesn't spoil, it doesn't rot, it doesn't lose potency. Salt was so valuable throughout history that it was used as money. Roman soldiers were partly paid in salt. In fact, the word salary comes from the Latin word salarium, meaning payment in salt. Salt is more than flavor, it's preservation. Before refrigerators existed, salt was the only way to preserve meat and fish. Even today, you can use salt to cure foods and extend their shelf life indefinitely. You can also use it in fermentation, making sauerkraut, kimchi, or pickles from your garden harvest. And don't forget, salt is also an electrolyte. In hot climates, when your body sweats and loses salt, having a supply can literally be life-saving. In survival, salt isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Store large amounts of salt, because it may one day be more valuable than gold. Alongside salt, let's not forget another forever food, sugar. Sugar doesn't spoil, it may clump or harden, but you can easily break it apart or dissolve it in water. Like salt, sugar was once a luxury so rare that it was traded across continents. In a survival pantry, sugar serves multiple purposes. It provides quick energy, acts as a preservative for jams and fruits, and lifts morale in hard times. And let's not forget the psychological side. In times of stress or scarcity, a taste of sweetness can lift morale like nothing else. That's comfort food, and in survival, comfort is as important as calories. Another powerhouse survival food is vinegar. White vinegar, in particular, lasts forever. Vinegar is more than flavor, it's chemistry. It's acidic, which makes it resistant to spoilage. You can use it to pickle vegetables, clean surfaces, disinfect wounds, and even repel pests. Vinegar is one of the most versatile tools you can keep in your home. If you're growing cucumbers, onions, or peppers in your garden, vinegar allows you to pickle and preserve them for months or years. It's not just food storage. It's food security multiplied. You can store vinegar at room temperature in a cool, dark place, like a pantry or cupboard. Now let's talk about something sweet and natural, pure maple syrup. Real maple syrup, the kind that comes from trees, not the fake bottles loaded with corn syrup and preservatives, can last indefinitely when sealed. If it crystallizes, just warm it gently, and it's as good as new. Maple syrup isn't just for pancakes. It provides essential minerals like zinc and manganese, making it both a sweetener and a nutrient source. And here's a tip. In an emergency, maple syrup can even serve as a quick energy booster or a barter item. Unopened syrup can be stored in a pantry away from direct sunlight. Open syrup should be stored in the refrigerator or freezer. Another survival food you probably already have is dried pasta. Dried pasta can last 20 to 30 years if stored properly. It's quick to cook, versatile, and filling. In times of stress, pasta also offers comfort. A bowl of pasta with sauce can transform basic ingredients into a hearty meal. Paired with dried herbs, beans, vegetables, or even a splash of soy sauce, pasta becomes a morale-boosting dish that's easy to prepare. It is also calorie-dense and lightweight, making it perfect for long-term storage. For your emergency pantry, it's essential. Pasta is one of those comfort foods that makes survival feel less like survival and more like normal life. Preserve freshness by storing dry pasta in an airtight box or container. And what about powdered milk? Powdered milk may not sound glamorous, but it's a survival powerhouse. Properly sealed and kept away from light can last 20 years or more. It provides protein, calcium, and essential vitamins. In emergencies, powdered milk means children and adults can still have dairy nutrition even without fresh milk. You can mix it into recipes, use it for baking, or simply rehydrate it for drinking. For families, especially, powdered milk is one of the most practical foods to stockpile. Now let's look at ghee, or clarified butter. Unlike regular butter, which spoils quickly, ghee can last for years without refrigeration when stored in airtight containers. Ghee has been a staple in India for centuries, used not only for cooking but also in traditional medicine. It's rich in fats, and in survival, fats are critical. They provide concentrated energy, help absorb vitamins, and keep the body fueled. Adding ghee to rice, beans, or bread turns simple staples into hearty meals. In long-term food storage, ghee is one of the best fat sources you can have. Coconut oil is another fat that stores well. Sealed and kept cool, it can last for years. But coconut oil is more than food. It can be used for cooking, skincare, wound healing, and even as a lamp oil substitute. In tropical regions, coconut oil has been an essential survival food for centuries. In your pantry, it's versatile, long-lasting, and incredibly useful. Next, let's talk about spices. While ground spices lose flavor over time, whole spices like peppercorns, cinnamon sticks, and cloves can last indefinitely. Spices do more than flavor food. Many have antibacterial and antifungal properties. Cinnamon, cloves, and turmeric, for example, were once prized not just for taste, but for their medicinal powers. In survival, spices keep meals from becoming monotonous. When you're eating rice and beans day after day, a sprinkle of spice turns bland food into comfort food. For many people, coffee isn't optional, it's essential. Whole, unroasted coffee beans can last indefinitely. Even roasted beans, when vacuum-sealed and frozen, can last for years. Coffee is more than a beverage, it's energy. It keeps you alert, sharp, and motivated. In times of hardship, a warm cup of coffee feels like hope. For your emergency pantry, storing green coffee beans ensures you'll always have access to this vital morale booster. Soy sauce is another timeless food. Its high salt content makes it resistant to spoilage, and sealed bottles can last for decades. Soy sauce is more than flavor. It's sodium, an electrolyte the body needs, and it transforms plain rice or beans into delicious meals. In Asian cultures, soy sauce has been a survival staple for centuries. Finally, let's talk about spirits, hard alcohol like vodka, rum, and whiskey. Spirits never expire. Properly sealed, they remain stable forever. Alcohol is not just for drinking. It can disinfect wounds, preserve herbs, clean surfaces, and even serve as currency in a collapsed economy. In history, alcohol was often safer to drink than water. In survival, a bottle of spirits is both practical and valuable. By combining foods that never expire with your survival garden and perennial crops, you create a safety net. Imagine this: your garden provides fresh potatoes, corn, herbs, and peppers. Your pantry provides rice, beans, salt, sugar, and honey. Together, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're eating meals that are flavorful, nourishing, and sustainable. Storing these foods is simple, but you must do it right. Use airtight containers, mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, and keep everything in a cool, dark place. Rotate when necessary, but remember, these foods are built to last. And here's another layer: think of these foods as wealth. In a world of food inflation, a jar of honey or a bag of rice could be more valuable than money. These foods become currency, trade, and community lifelines. So, as you build your emergency pantry, remember, stock foods that never expire. These are your foundation, your shield against uncertainty. And don't forget the wisdom of the past. Just as victory gardens sustained families during wartime, today your garden and pantry can sustain you during times of crisis. In the end, survival isn't about fear. It's about preparation. It's about giving your family peace of mind. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you will have food on the table. So start today. Grow what you can. Store what you can't grow. Stock your pantry with foods that never expire. And you'll discover that food security, real food security, starts right in your own home. Subscribe now for more eye-opening food facts. Stay prepared and see you in my next video.